We're on a timer. Yeah, what are you using for a timer? Like a egg timer?
Egg timer. Well, phone, I guess. But I'm just watching the clock is what I'm doing here. Sometimes you're just going to keep it on here. Everything's on the phone.
Okay.
You know that.
Hey, what time is it there, by the way? Is it like 8:30 or 8:40?
Yeah, no, it's actually 9:30 or whatever. So.
Oh, right, 2 hours.
2 hours ahead of you there. Yeah, almost bedtime now. That's okay.
Jeez, yeah.
Stupid time change. So, but you're in Vancouver right now, right?
Yeah.
You live there full time?
Yeah, I do.
How long have you guys lived there?
We've been here since 2013, I think. 2015 full time. I'll just give you a quick.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've seen pictures when Mom stopped in there. You guys have a pretty spectacular view. Cole Harbor. Is that Canada Place down there that I spotted, or what was that?
Yeah, that's the cruise ship here, Canada Place. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And the convention center is just down there.
Right on.
And then the airplane where all the lights are on the water, that's the Harbor Airs terminal, their seaplane base.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then over there you can see Lionsgate Bridge, and just in front of it's Stanley Park.
Nice.
And there's the Cole Harbor Yacht Club down there.
So in terms of places to live in Canada, you're right up there, I think, hey?
Well, we like it. It's good. Yeah. Although you're not going to believe this, we're an NDP riding.
Well, no, I believe it. It's
unbelievable.
Well, we don't have to talk politics too much here.
No, we'll stay away from that.
I found that politics is it's kind of rotting my brain a bit, and I'm good at it. I understand it very well, but it just turns. Well, I always like to be right. You know, I know I'm right, and then so what good is that though? Who cares? What difference does that make? And are you helping people out, and are you being right for the sake of being right? Or are you doing it because you're actually truly caring about the people you talk about? Because if you're not doing that, then why the hell are you talking to that person?
Right.
About that.
Right? So, I always use the two terms together, especially with people and personalities. So there's people that are always correct, but often they're not right.
Right.
You know.
Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? That kind of person, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're correct. Their point is correct.
Yeah.
But in the big picture, they're not right. There's some deficiencies. So
that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right? And the knowledge is
right.
The information.
Correct.
The wisdom is how are you using it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that sort of thing. So, well, good. Well, you're my guest here tonight, so. Welcome. You're Dennis Schwab. You're on my podcast and YouTube channel. You are my cousin, first of all. We're first cousins. And you're my godfather.
That's
which
right.
I always took a lot of pride in. I always thought my mom and dad must have had high esteem for you. And then I kind of thought about it a little later on. It's like, well, I'm the fifth kid, so they kind of ran out of people maybe.
Yeah. They're thinking, well, who could be the godfather for Robbie?
All our best friends.
And maybe my mom phoned your mom at that time and said, how about what's Dennis doing?
Well, I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
So I've known you all my life, pretty much.
Been an honor being your godfather.
Well, same to you. It's
About the kids in the prayers. Remember that story?
I think I've told Robbie about it. Yeah, our kids when they say that we'd go kneel down and say our prayers at night with them, and you were always on the God bless list right at the top.
Yeah, and rightly so. Like I was.
Yeah.
I lived with you guys for just a few weeks one summer. I worked for you, I think, parts of 2 summers, and I lived with you guys for.
Yeah.
And that's when your name got into the prayer, and then as they grew older, it never left. It was
hilarious. That's right.
Lucky you.
Don't do that when I'm on the phone.
Well, it's pretty hilarious because no, it was actually kind of fun because your oldest McKenna, she was I don't know how old she would have been there. And
Oh,
Noel
would
was
she
a
be
baby.
10 or something? Or
No,
was
she's
she that young?
She's
Younger than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Noel was a baby,
Right.
so I remember that.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty good. I've always liked, because you used to live in Prince George. Let's back it up a bit though, because you started off. You were born, I think, probably, I'm guessing, North Battleford or someplace like that.
No, actually,
Where are you from?
I was born in Unity Hospital, but my birth certificate's one of the old ones that has the, Section 13, TP 40, West 6. Like really old, right?
God, you're old. That's
like
crazy.
In a farmhouse. But
you're the second oldest of Carl and Georgina.
Yeah.
And Georgina's my mom's sister, and it was pretty good. And so your dad's from around that area though, right? He's from
Trapping Lake.
The Trapping Lake area?
Yeah. Well, that's where he was born.
Okay.
I believe is Trapping Lake, or maybe one of the same sort of birth certificate I've got, right?
Where did they meet? And because I don't even know that story. You probably ask your mom that, but.
Well, somewhere, in one of the dances in and around Carobert, I take it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Carl, he was a carpenter by trade.
Yeah.
And you worked pretty close to the very end, hey? Your dad, hey? Like he was.
Oh yeah, well, he retired at 70 something maybe.
Yeah.
But he worked for us when he retired from working at the mall, he came to work for us and worked in the shop in the yard and kind of looked after things.
Yeah, I worked for you again parts of those 2 summers, and you were he was in there. He was like every once in a while he was in there, he was cutting wood and just hanging out.
Yeah. Always doing something. Yeah.
This is a wiry little guy, and he's just, I don't know, one of the most interesting guys I've ever known.
Yeah.
Just he's always a great guy to talk to, like just it's one-on-one, right? Like take him aside at our family gatherings, like, you're not sure what to do, go talk with Uncle Carl and you'll enjoy yourself,
No, good.
Between that and baseball too, because I remember visiting with you guys when we were kids, or your mom and dad's place, and the Blue Jays are always on in the summertime. Like it was always.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
So that was always pretty good. So when you guys were kids, there was 8 of you in the family originally. 8 kids.
8 kids, yeah.
Jesus, you guys.
Yeah.
How was that growing up, Dennis, with you guys?
Oh, I mean, we were all busy, as I recall anyway. And the interesting thing was, and I tell people this and they can't believe it, but so there's our parents and 8 kids, but us kids always would have friends over for dinner and stuff. So dinner would be, could be 12 people, it could be 14, or it would vary all the time. Sundays were always extra people, and my mom used to say, if you're cooking for 10, cooking for 12 or 14 doesn't make a difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of round it up basically and go.
Yeah. And we never, had a really big home ever. So, it was crowded. It wouldn't be good, through COVID to be living like we used to live. It would be very difficult.
No, it's a different life there.
Yeah.
So then where was your childhood then? When you were
mostly North Battleford. I was left there when I was 15. And then spent the rest of the time in Prince George.
Why'd you guys go to Prince George then? For your dad to get some work, or? Yeah,
so a partner he had in North Battleford, they had a small construction company. He moved out here and he was in Prince George, and it was really booming then. When we moved to Prince George in 71, I believe it was, there was 26,000, 25,000 people, something like that. And, now it's 80, and it grew to 80 quite quick. And it sort of stayed at 80 for some time now. Yeah. But there was lots of work. So he came up and he worked with his partner building houses for a company, one of the small house building development companies, and then did a number of other, related things with different companies and some work on his own. We used to be building a house just about every summer, either for ourselves or our cousins or somebody, Roy and Debbie. There's always something happening.
Gee whiz. And so then, did you get in that business then too right away? Like, is that kind of what
yeah, well, yeah, I did, because I would work for my dad.
Okay.
And then I went to work for a company when I was 15 that he was working for. So I had a summer job there. And then, in fact, I then kept a job there for as I went through high school, working in the summertime and part-time, on Saturdays. And then I was actually going to be an accountant.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted to be. I guess I saw my cousin Vic move from Saskatchewan out to Prince George and thought, oh, that'd be a good gig. And then my boss, he said, well, why don't you try construction or go to the construction technology program, 2-year program. So
okay.
I was pretty flexible. So yeah, that sounds good.
Why not?
I started that fall and then went through and finished in 2 years and came out and went to work.
Started working, eh? So you started again building houses and started going from there. So you were an employee, I guess, working for people.
Yeah.
But eventually you started running businesses.
Yeah.
How did that process go?
Yeah. So the fellow I was working for as I went to school and to college, I went back. I stayed working for him when I got out of college, and I was sort of estimating work and managing work, and so he made me. He started selling me some shares. So so I ended up with 35% of the company, and then we were getting we were actually quite busy, and most of the work was stuff I was bidding or had bid and was managing. So we had some sort of internal issues, and we were growing, I think, much faster than what my partner wanted to grow.
Mm-hmm.
He was a bit conservative, so we ended up one day just saying that enough is enough, and it's not going to work for me to stick around there, and he just didn't want to get to the size of a business that we were, so we decided to part ways, and within a week we had started a new company, and with a fellow that I knew from the industry. We were partners. He was a good guy, but he also had a lot of work. So he had a mechanical contracting outfit, and he always needed a civil contractor. So we became partners, and that went along well for about 15 years. And we were building trades union contractor, and I didn't really want to hang around the building trades. It was very difficult. It was needless. Issues always presented themselves every day, jurisdictional things,
right? Yeah.
All sorts of stuff like that. So got a call one day from the pulp mills, who were a big client of ours,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, we're going to look at doing things a different way. They're not going to go with building trades all the time. You should come out and meet a guy, and one of the guys that's going to do start contracting here. He was an open shop guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they extended the invitation to probably a half a dozen of the contractors that were doing work out there all the time. I was the only guy that went and met him. And anyway, we, I could see the light. I could see that being an open shop, doing things a bit differently, you could provide a better service, more value, all of that. And so we talked about starting a company, but in the meantime, I decided I was going to leave this other company, and it had already been selling my shares to my partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I left and started up a new company with a couple young guys, and that worked out quite well. And then within a year, we had merged with another company, a larger industrial contractor, and we just went from there.
Was that WIC at that time? Was that?
It was WIC that I left and started IDL.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah. Because I was with you when you were with WIC, so
yeah.
It must have been kind of towards the end, maybe, or so. I remember some of the job. Well, I was mostly working the yard and stuff, but I remember working. You had me build I think the fence might still be there. A fence around a trailer park.
Oh yeah. We were the developer of the trailer park. Yeah, up in the Hard Highway.
But that was a trade union. That was a union outfit that I was working with, and I found that out right away because whenever it was break time, you had to take your break. And I was like, well, I'm not tired. I'm an 18-year-old farm kid. I'm not tired.
You must have been working with Pierre.
With who?
Do you remember a young guy, Pierre?
Oh, Christ, maybe. Maybe. That sounds familiar, actually. DeRoche does sound familiar.
He would have probably been the lead hand there or something.
I'm just pushing concrete and down the post, and just kind of did that for a while too. And then I remember you had some guys working on your driveway and you fired them. So I was working
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
you're a tough boss, Dennis. Probably still are, eh?
Well, I never thought that of myself, but I've heard that from people. But then they also say on one hand, well, you're tough and so on, but then they say, well, how come you're so easy on this other person?
No, yeah, I think you're just tough because you have some expectations. I don't blame you because it's your money. If it's your company, it's your time that you're paying for. You got to get it right, I guess. I don't know. I didn't think you were unfair, but yeah, you're well, you weren't tough on me because first of all, I was doing pretty simple tasks. And secondly, I just did them. I didn't really worry about it too much at all. So I thought if you fired me, well, yeah. Just leave.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but it was pretty easy though. I know you had a lot of family members working for you at one time or another. So
yeah.
So that was pretty crazy. Yeah, I find that kind of interesting because I've been phoning people up for this project of mine here. And a lot of them are entrepreneurs or people that started their own businesses or kind of went their own path. I find that kind of interesting. How people kind of work on that. And when you mentioned about your partners there too, it almost seems like it's like I'm not calling it like a marriage, but like you're dating somebody, right? And then all of a sudden you realize we're kind of headed in different directions, and it's kind of knowing that right time when to quit, when to move on, and
yeah, I mean, if you want to, I was being a contractor, you tend to be a bit opportunistic, right? So if another opportunity presents itself and you want to explore, like I never left anybody without saying, hey, do you want to come and do this with me?
Yeah.
But when they didn't want to do it, then I just moved on. There's no sense two people being miserable or.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. And that's probably more relationships should think about that sort of thing. Yeah. So think about that sort of thing too. You got to understand, you have to have the same kind of mindset and vision. And if you don't share that kind of vision, then why are you even together, I suppose?
Well, sure. And, I guess business, marriage, anything, you have to, marriage, there's some variables there when you have children and so on. So that's, there's other reasons, but in business, you don't need to dwell on it. You can just, do what you think is right for you, especially if you want, if you're growing or you're wanting to grow and do more things and enter into, with all those things, there's risk. And some people, they get to a certain point in their life, they don't want to take on any more risk. Right. So I respect that.
And that's fair. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But you have to be comfortable handling risk, I guess. Right. And it's not being more risky. It's about being more aware and be able to calculate the risk better. Is that right? Is that part
Yeah,
of what you approach the things?
ideally, if in a really perfect construction world, you'd be able to evaluate and every risk with every contract and so on well ahead of entering into the contract, and then theoretically things should work out swimmingly, but that's not always really what happens, because there's always time that enters into it, and time, generally you never have enough time, and the money's always squeezed, so you set aside some of what are deemed risks, and you push forward, and with the idea that you're going to figure it out as you move forward, right? Which sometimes works out, but it's an expensive education when it doesn't. Yeah.
With respect to so after WIC again, it was IDL, right? Is that what?
IDL, projects.
Yeah, so IDL projects. So how long has that been going on,
it's still operating
going on? Yeah.
I sold my interest, and we started the process in 2010, I think, and concluded it in 2014. And then I stayed on for a couple of years as a CEO of a IDL and a group of other companies, and then retired from that. And so from that point on, though, we've been involved in land development and building buildings here in Vancouver. Then we started an electrical business and a civil contracting business here in Vancouver with some young partners again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not a venture capitalist, or maybe you are. I don't know. What would you call yourself now?
Not really. But we do get into a number of private equity deals. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. So now you're looking like these businesses that you're buying into or being part of now. Is it a strategic move on your part, or you're just looking for opportunities because you kind of understand the field? Like if you do land development, do you get an electrical contractor because you need an electrical contractor? You want to kind of have a stake in that, or
yeah, not so much that. The land development, we have one land development company that's been going since 2005. We've got 400 acres in in West Kelowna, right above Shannon Lake, and we've been developing that since 2005. We're on phase 11 now.
Holy cow.
And we've got a number of phases to go, and we're also doing our multifamily build out now. So we got another 200 multifamily doors to build. So that's going to keep going on, and then we've gotten involved in a number of other developments here in Vancouver that they don't take up much time, but they do involve some stuff. We generally get involved in them as a limited partner, and we don't have to be too active in them. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's pretty nice, though. You kind of set it up really nice for yourself. You had some success, but then also letting your money work for you, right? And your expertise do your job for you, right? You're not swinging a hammer. I was also told you weren't very good carpenter anyway, so that's probably a good career move on your part.
Brutal. Yeah.
Is that swing set still standing in the backyard of that we put together?
It was all good till we tore it down and put lawn in the sitting area down there. We just there wasn't even any kids in the neighborhood using it anymore. But
that thing would have lasted forever. You know that, right? I'm disappointed. Yeah.
That was good. Yeah.
Solid as a rock.
It was nice. You helped us put that all together. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a a good time.
Yeah.
Now, are your kids working with you now too? Are they? I've heard that. Is that true?
McKenna does.
Yeah,
McKenna does. Yeah, and so she helps. She does a lot of the. She manages the entire portfolio, but she also does the. When we get an opportunity come our way, she does the analysis and all of that. And, does a lot of the leg work. in any of the deals we get involved in. So yeah, she does. And then Nolan works just downtown here, a couple blocks from where his office is, a couple blocks from ours. And he is, what they do is they provide project financing for developments.
Okay.
And that's a small office they've got, but they do a lot of major projects here. And a funny thing is, we're involved with them on a couple developments, and we're also a limited partner with them on 3 developments, I think, right now. So yeah. We actually interact. McKenna and Nolan will be interacting quite a bit, and as do I with them sometimes on a business level. So that's good. And then Brennan works in the same office as McKenna and I do, but for the engineering company across the hall.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so everybody's right downtown, and you know, 2 of us are in the same office building, and the other one's about 2 blocks away.
That's, you know, okay, I'm going to say something about this too. Like I was actually going to mention this, or I thought of this a little while ago. I noticed it last summer because we went up for Ashley's wedding, and we got to see you guys all again for the first time for me in years. And it was pretty good. And the Schwab family, you guys are tight. Like, do you recognize how tight you guys are? Like I know, like, you're in Vancouver, but your kids, and you're still around. Like, I think it's that the idea of family for you guys is very, very strong.
Yeah, it is. You know, because you're immersed in it, you don't probably recognize it as anything but normal. You know, I mean, look at the greater Sean family, you know, how close everybody is there, and so on. And so, you know, we just picked up on that and kept going. You know, you guys are the same. You see each other quite often.
No, I don't know. I don't think we do. We're that close.
Well, just think too.
Well, I think of the Sean family, maybe, but like, I don't know. It's
everybody in our family's in one town except us, and we're up there quite often. We kept our house there, and
we're back and forth. Your nephew Jeremy just moved back up there too, right? And I remember talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, we only come up. Well, we make sure we phone everybody so everyone's around. Then we come up."
Yeah,
like all his cousins, right? That's what he wants to do, is see all his little cousins, right? So I thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, you guys are all up there. And Kara used to live in, you know, Calgary for a little while, and which is kind of cool because I was living in Calgary. I got to see her once in a while too. Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, your kids, you guys are all like tangentially the same business, you know, more or less, right? With engineering.
Yeah, well,
stuff.
That's
finance
true.
is a big part of that. So, no, I kind of like that. I don't know if it's a conscious decision on your part or what. I couldn't wait to get out of my house when I was 15.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing against my mom and dad, but I had to get off the farm and I had to get moving out there. So definitely, I don't think we're as tight as you guys are. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, things have worked out well for you and what you've chosen to do. So, you know, sometimes you know you have to make a move somewhere along the line.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. I guess I'm just sort of an independent spirit, I suppose, a little bit more that way. That's hence my arguments on Facebook and, you know, happen to be right all the time. You mentioned this before, and before we started recording this kind of too, but I was kind of thinking about it more and more now too, because, you know, when Mark passed away, it was pretty big for me too. Then I, you know, like with Daryl, your brother Daryl, I didn't really know him well. I remember him when I was a kid, right? And so we visited a few times, drove up to Prince George, and, you know, had some good times. And I remember he was probably the coolest of all you guys, probably.
Coolest, yeah. I would say, yeah.
It's pretty accurate, yeah. How much younger is
Danny,
he?
I guess.
Yeah, him and I don't know, Danny. You're not as cool as you think you are, Danny. But how much younger is Daryl? Was he than you?
I think he's 4 years younger than me. Yeah.
I was thinking 5. Yeah, 4. Okay. Yeah.
Well, the way our family works, right? There's one every year, so. you know, every year there was a new baby. So
God love those cows.
if I count backwards, it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and tell me about him though. Like, what are your, like, tell me about Daryl. What he meant to you,
He was lots of fun. He was lots of fun. You know, Daryl, Danny, and even Todd, we all played ball together. We played hockey together on the same team. You know, we had, you know, we go to the same parties, and, you know, had many of the same friends and so on. And so, you know, we were together quite a bit, and even, you know, after we all moved out, we're all, you know, we'd get together all the time, and do stuff, still played sports together and hung out together. And yeah, but no, Daryl was a really good guy. Really good guy. Everybody liked him.
Yeah. You know, he had, I mean, there's pictures of him with a guitar are pretty,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he played it, but he had pictures with it.
No, he did. It actually wasn't bad at all. He was quite the entertainer. Yeah, for sure. No, real good guy.
What was he doing, like, as a career? What kind of stuff was he doing?
Yeah, he was worked in a floor shop, so he was a salesman for floor goods and that sort of thing.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good. I still remember, like, when he passed there, it was probably the first time I saw my mom and dad really experience grief, you know, like, it was pretty, because I was there when they heard. I was like, holy Christ, because I remember, like, still see them in front of that phone. I was like, oh my God. And that was crazy, because you guys were, when you were kids, Dad will tell the story about how a big pile of a car full of you guys would show up at the farm and kind of take over the place. And he said,
oh, it was fun.
Nuts, but I think there's a lot of affection with my parents and you guys a lot. So,
oh, we'd always see your mom and dad, and then you guys, when you started coming along, you know, when we would get to Kerrobert, and you know, and you know, Kerrobert is what, 90 miles from North Battleford, or 60 miles or something.
Yeah, hour and a bit. Yeah.
But I remember going, you know, we'd all pile in the station wagon, 8 kids and 2 adults, and we'd always, you know, we'd get to Wilkie's like 30 miles away, and we'd have to stop and have dinner or lunch or something, you know. And Dad drinking beer the whole way.
Yeah, right. Always room for a 2-4 pack, right beside him, or a 12 pack, right?
Well, he'd take a 6-pack, and that would get him to Kerrobert. So.
Well, you'd have to. I don't know.
Well, you just think about it. You know, 8 kids that aren't used to sitting still and fighting and screaming, and
hot car, you know, no air conditioning, dusty.
Yeah, no, exactly. No seat belts, nothing.
Well, there's no seat belts when I was a kid. Well, there were, but like, if you're in the back seat, you never wore a seat belt. That was the thing, right?
Yeah.
So, it's
just so for opening beer. That's what they're for.
Oh, that's pretty good. And yeah, that's good. No, I like hearing these kind of stories here. I was hoping to hear that. I wanted to. I was going to tell you, actually, we were thinking about coming to Vancouver this summer, like before COVID hit. We were saying, well, let's go to Vancouver. And his brother lives in Langley. So we're like, okay, well, we go downtown Vancouver, rent a car, visit him for a couple of days, and then spend some time. So we were definitely going to at least try to look you up if you're around.
What about this summer? You're going to come
next summer?
Yeah.
Well, if we're allowed to, I don't know.
I got to think we hopefully we can.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think what's going to change is that I think you can see these waves for the next year or so. And what's going to happen, there's 2 things are going to have to change. You're going to have a vaccine that's widely distributed, which probably ain't going to happen in a year. Or we're going to accept sort of a higher level of risk. Like, look, we can deal with this stuff. And if we just allow ourselves to, like, open ourselves up. Because, like, now we're doing Saskatchewan now finally has another indoor mask ban, which we didn't have before. So everywhere indoors in public spaces, you have to have a mask on.
Oh, yeah.
You know, go to the gym, you have to wear a mask, you know. And I know we can wear a mask and you won't die, but it's like, if you're in the gym, it sucks.
Oh, totally.
I sweat enough in there as it is. you know, but we have to understand, like, to me, it just, we're not getting it from like passing by on the street. We're getting it from like people sharing meals, hugging, kissing, you know, maybe shaking hands and touching your mouth, you know, like that's how you get it. You're not getting it just by the street. But
no, if you're in a closed space for more than 15 minutes, your level of risk goes way up. You know,
so
we're seeing, you know, around here out in the Fraser Valley, lots and lots and lots of cases, right? Mostly driven by people having family gatherings and so on.
Exactly. So funerals, parties, weddings.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do at a wedding? You eat food, you hug and kiss. What do you do at a funeral? You eat, hug, food, and kiss. You have a party. What are you doing? You're hugging.
Yeah.
You know, young guys, you know, they share a joint, cigarettes. Like, how do you think they're getting it? That's what we're seeing in Saskatchewan. It's all the same cases, but yet we have to wear a mask everywhere. Like, well, it's not about the mask. It's more about like this false sense of security that we have. That, in my mind, I don't think it really. It's like a totem, you know, that you have to have in your hand and show everybody, hey, I get it, you know. But
well, the masks are good too. I mean, you don't touch your face, so you touch a mask, so that helps you a little bit. But you know, people walking down the street with a mask, I don't know how you feel about it, or if you're in a building, but you know, there's this something in your mind, just, you know, walk, you know, keep some space, walk this way. Don't, you know, it's like a warning sign on everybody's face.
I just don't think it's good for our psyche, though. I guess that's the thing. And maybe
it's not, and it wears on everybody slowly. I mean, you just think of, you know, what you look forward to today compared to what you look forward to a year ago. It's quite different. It's,
so we're gonna come out there. I haven't been to Vancouver in a long time, and I love that city. I've been there probably 2003 maybe, or something like that, or maybe 2004, give or take. It's the last time I was there, and I love the city, and I have a lot of really good friends there too. You know, I can probably spend a week there and spend it with a different friend of mine.
Well, you gotta let us know when you're coming. We're usually in the summer. We're here. I mean, for a period of time, we you know, been going to Italy a bit in the summer, either early summer or late in the summer. But
so we go to Italy. Like, do you go to the same place all the time? Do you have a villa?
We go to the same village in Tuscany all the time.
Nice. And I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we have lots of friends there. It's a good area for cycling. I like to cycle, and it's just, you know, it's great there. I mean, we do tour around from there. We go to other areas. You know, we've been to the Amalfi Coast, up in the north, into you know, been to Venice, Milan, and down in the Cinque Terre and Puglia, down south. So we do get around a bit, but we really, really, really like this area of Tuscany where we hang out all the time. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. And like, Italy's not a huge country, but it's got a lot of variety in it too, right? So you can, whatever your flavor is, you can probably go, you know, like you say, head on over to Venice. That's a bit of a drive, and that's a bit of a difference than you know,
totally different than Tuscany
or whatever, right? So
yeah. But there's never had a bad meal or a bad bottle of wine in Italy ever.
Right.
Like ever. You never will. I don't know where you can find one.
You can try, make a bad bottle of wine. Yeah, well, we did our best to tackle that anyways, I believe, last summer. So that few bottles of wine anyway. So we looked for some bad bottles. I don't think I found any.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
Well, I don't have any other questions for you. I was just trying to understand, get your background, stuff I didn't really know about it, and I appreciate that. Do you have any questions at all for me, or?
No. Well, it's been enjoyable. I mean, other than, you know, how are the kids? What's happening? Are the kids into any sports this fall?
Yeah, we have sort of a return to play plan here in Saskatchewan. So the older one, Rogan, he plays hockey. He's first year Adam. They don't call him Adam anymore, but that's what he is. So I'm his head coach That's a lot
Oh,
of
you
fun.
are.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because like in the zones, you kind of get to know the parents, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit better. And so I've been coaching with a few of the guys already. And so we're like, okay, who's going to coach this year? Because they pick the team separately from us. They get some coordinator, pick them, and then we tell you what team you're on.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like, well, no, Rob, it's your turn. I'm like, yeah, okay, oh, fine. I like being the assistant coach because like it's easy. You just bark at the kid, work, skate hard, you know, like that sort of thing. But
no,
now
no planning, no none of that.
Yeah,
so.
but now I have to do the practice plan. I have to phone the parents up, and it's not. I don't really like that part of coaching at all. But although I get to control it too, which is kind of good too. And the other part about this age, rather than like say initiation or novice, like younger ages, is that the coaches are all better too, not just the players but the coaches. So I can actually just do a sort of a. I don't have to be very detailed in my plan. I said, okay, I just want to do sort of a passing play, shoot plan or something like that. Can you think of, and this is what I'm thinking. And they take it and they modify it. I'm like, perfect. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, and then I can actually focus on, you know, watching the players, looking for those little things, and then think about where we're going next. So, that's kind of fun. Now, Sam, he had no interest in playing hockey. It's kind of funny. He likes hockey and he plays it in the basement and he enjoys hockey. But he did hip hop dance. He's been doing hip hop, and now he's starting soccer.
Oh, good.
Good.
So they have a winter season, indoor season?
Yeah, so they both have been doing community soccer, which is, well, I'm a coach, so that tells you how good they are. But he got canceled last year. But a friend of mine, her husband is he's one of the top soccer guys in the city, coaches the university's men's team. And he's involved with this group that does elite training. And so there's actually a club system in Saskatoon. He actually works with the Whitecaps.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way MLS works is like they kind of take over regions of North America, right? And so Saskatoon falls in under the Whitecaps region. And so he's their rep for development rep here in Saskatchewan. And they've actually been developing some nice young talent here from Saskatoon, right? It's little diamonds in the rough. So he suggested this soccer academy that goes year round for young kids. So I phoned the guy up and he said, I said, well, he's kind of small. He hasn't played much soccer. I'm not sure how good he is. He's like, that's perfect. They want kids who aren't really involved in other sports because he says, especially smaller kids, because those kids get left behind. And I noticed that in hockey when they start cheering off.
Oh,
like
totally,
Rogan always gets tiered lower than probably his skill level allows because he's so small, hey? And the bigger kids are always bigger and stronger, so they're faster and, you know, they can shoot harder.
Right.
But it's like, you don't know what the kid's going to turn out until they're at least 14, 15 years old, like what kind of body they're going to have, right? So this guy, like, that's where they developed it. We'll take any kid, and up to the age of 13, it doesn't matter how good they are. They're going to play, and they just do practices, skills, and then some games, but mostly practice and skills. And Sammy's actually happy. He's happy with that. So it's kind of good because I wanted to get him into something where he can get a jersey because his brother gets all the cool stuff, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and then I'm coaching him, so I don't want to. I'm conscious about it, right? Because I'm a hockey guy. So, but I think this kid's got he can have some fun on his own too, and he can kind of be his own person. It's kind of good because he's kind of a weird kid, anyways, and he likes doing his own thing. So.
It's like his dad.
Yeah, it's funny. Those damn kids. Funny thing is about the kids, and I've said this before to people, that like the thing I hate about my kids is like they remind me of myself, and the thing I love about my kids is that they remind me of myself.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes because you see some things in them, it's like, oh, that's what I do, and I just don't want to. You have to like let it be because you know I made it, and they'll make it too, right? But
yeah.
But then sometimes you see some stuff and it's like, oh, I love that kid because that's what I love about myself.
Yeah. No, good.
Yeah, it's okay though. But but like for work, I'm working for that uranium mining company, and I'm doing I do security with them, but also do business continuity planning. So last year, every year I have to get every department has to have the business continuity plan, which includes a pandemic plan, and nobody is getting it done. It's like, my job is to get you guys to get it done. They're not getting it done. And then February rolled around. I was like, you guys may want to get it done. And then like beginning of March, it's like, okay, you have to get it done by the end of March. And then by March 16th, it's like, okay, if you're not done, You guys are hooped. But so that was kind of a nice little test of our plans that we had in place. But now we're always like just kind of struggling, trying to get people, like trying to figure out how to protect the people.
Mm-hmm.
But our IT group was really good and strong. They were ready to go, and they sent people home, and they relied on technology, and not everything was perfect, but it was pretty close. Yeah. So,
Are you guys mining? You had that mine flooded a number of years ago.
Yeah.
I assume you've drained it out by now. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Couple times.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was mining development. It flooded a couple times there. Yeah. Yeah, it's going. Cigar Lake, yeah, it's going. We stopped it during COVID because we wanted to protect the north, because it's a conduit to the north.
Oh,
okay. So many northerners go there. But now we're ramping back up. I think we're going full tilt now. So.
Oh, you are right.
Yeah.
How's the market right now?
It's getting better, but we shut down one of our main operations though, and Kazakhstan slowed down their output as well too. Because there's way too much supply. There's way too much oversupply. Since Fukushima, it's just never slowed down with supply, and it didn't pick up. And Germany kind of preemptively shut down some of their plants, foolishly, because now they're actually burning more coal and fossil fuels now. It's kind of stupid. Right. But China's still building, Russia's still building. Like, these places are still building plants. So, and our company still does well. We had to make some pretty significant decisions and to lower down. And I think arguably before Fukushima, we were kind of fat and high on the hog, and now we're pretty lean, mean machine. Like, there's no fat at all in our company. Like, I'm doing 3 jobs.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting cameras fixed. I'm doing security type stuff. I'm doing business continuity. I'm also involved with emergency response. So.
Wow,
it's kind of crazy.
And you guys are head office in Saskatoon, right?
Yeah. So I work mostly out of head office there. Well, I'm working at home, right? That's where I'm trying to work from anyway. So we have guards there, but like after COVID hit, we went down to what we call the minimal workforce. So people that had to be there, or people that don't really have any other place to go. But so we're at about, say, 10% of our office space. Then they opened it up to 30% in summer. We're still at like 15% or something like that. Like, nobody really wants to go back to work.
No. You wonder how long is that going to last? I mean, you see it here. Downtown a year ago. It's just busy all the time, and now much less so. Of course, go into where our office is, and I'd say it's maybe 15%. Well, put it this way: you never have a hard time getting a boardroom if you need one.
No, not at all. And you're not going to see it come back. I don't think you're going to see it come back the way it was. And business travel is going to get hit too, which is unfortunate because that's subsidized as personal travel, right? So which is
for sure,
not too bad. But your business though, like with land development, you're more looking at suburban type developments and housing and suburban commercial.
We have we're building building lots is part of it, but we're also in Kelowna we're building multifamily housing. Here it's all mixed use developments, so there'll be some commercial space in the ground floor, maybe some office space, and then some
condos or
rental units or something.
Yeah, so like I think those kind of business, I think that kind of real estate would be just fine because, make a nice place where people want to be rather than a downtown office, right? And the one thing that's happened here, there was in Vancouver, a real shortage of office space. So there was a bit of a building boom going on in the office sector. And, and probably WeWork was taking half the new builds and renovating all kinds of other properties, and their model's kind of tanking a bit. Although I was in a WeWork office for a meeting, McKenna and I were there the other day, I think Wednesday, and they're at least 50%, more than 50% full. Oh, sure. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I came from Calgary, and I know they're getting really bad. It's kind of funny that my buddies who are still working there they take pictures from their office and are always like, seem to be really, really high up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So empty in there, right? So they got all the best, they got the corner offices and everything there now, people that are actually working there.
Yeah. So. Can you imagine, eh?
Yeah, I feel just awful
for
that town, man. It's, yeah, I knew it was going to kind of get hit, but I don't think it was going to be the way it was going to be hit. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of it that was self-induced by, you know, policies that we have in this country that.
Oh, totally. That's
resource development, you know.
Yeah, that is a given for sure.
Again.
The other thing too, though, that industry, you know, having worked in the oil patch and up in the oil sands, and I've never seen an industry more destined to kill itself than that. You know, just the stuff that they would put in, you know, just from a construction perspective. I would say a normal project would see, you know, if you took a cross section across all the different trades and working on a site, you know, the most productive trades might produce 30% a day, maybe 40% a day, and then it goes downhill from there.
Wow!
Like,
yeah,
just the way they set themselves up, just destined to not get anything done. And that's exactly what was happening. And their costs were ballooning, and because they're making so muce money, they didn't really care to manage that. But they kept putting things in place to increase their costs. They did that just internally.
Yeah. Well,
unbelievable.
Like again, I can see it here at our own company because we're forced to constrain. And by that constraint, now, like it used to be where if you have a good idea, everyone's like, whatever. You know, this might save you $30,000. Whatever. Tell me when it saves me $1 million. You know. Yeah. And now it's like, can you save $5,000? Hey, that's good. And the constraint is actually forcing us to be innovative. It's forcing us to think differently. It's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Like we're really driving the digital revolution at our mine sites big time before everything's done. You know, paperwork. Still in this day and age, there's no reason why you can't use a smartphone or bring a new technology, and we're pushing that hard at our mine sites.
Oh, good.
And
good.
Yeah, it's actually kind of it's kind of nice to see. If you have not a half-assed idea, they're going to listen to it at the very least. They're going to consider it. But
that is good.
But I don't know. We'll see if the uranium price ever comes up, or maybe it doesn't have to, and that's the new normal. Like we're still doing okay. Like we're still holding our own. We're still doing what we're saying we're going to do. At least our company is, and maybe that's enough. But I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go with it.
The new normal is going to be something so different, and you know, so many industries are going to, you know, like we're not making film anymore for cameras, or very little, right? That's just the way things roll out with technology, right? There's going to be those affected, and then there's some that are going to be affected by, you know, if you're in a service industry right now, it can be, you know, very, very bad. You know, if it goes too much longer, people are going to realize I probably didn't need that anyway. You know, I can get away without that. You know, I don't. It's not something I you know, that is a must, or even something I desire so much anymore. So.
Yeah, they call it the Great Reset. That's the term I've been hearing. I don't know if you heard that.
Oh yeah.
Like, everybody's resetting right now. What are my priorities?
Mm-hmm.
What should I be doing? How is my future for the next 5 years shifted over? And what should I be focusing my energies and priorities? That's part of the reason why I'm doing this project again too. I'm just reaching out to people, but I didn't realize I was doing this until I started doing it. But I realized I'm doing it because I want to talk to people. I'm looking for ideas. I'm looking for just different ways of thinking, you know.
Yeah. But it's nice too, Rob. You're connecting. You know, I know when I tuned into the odd music night you had going, you know, it was connecting a lot of us back together, right? And that's really important. It's you know, we're blessed to have you in our lives and doing this for us all. You know, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I hope so. I like to think so. And it's kind of funny because I talked to some buddies from university, I did one of these with, and all my buddies from university, they're checking out, and then all of a sudden they're texting me and talked to a few of them since, people I haven't talked to in 20 years or more. And I bet you there'll be a few people from our family here that's going to be watching this and have their sarcastic comments ready to go.
Oh yeah. Well, you're heading towards fame, so people will want to be attached to you. There's no question, and then there'll be the detractors.
Well, that's fine. I'll take anything at this point, detractors or whatever it is. So, well, I guess I'll probably just let you go here. We've been talking for a little while, but I'm glad I reconnected with you there, Dennis. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was very nice. Thanks for doing that. And here, I'll just let you say goodnight to Leslie too.
There you are.
Good night.
Oh, good night.
Thanks for checking in.
Yes, we'll do it more often, maybe, for sure. And
that would be good. Yeah, and say hi to Amber and the boys.
Say hi to the family.